Hey everyone, welcome back to 2 Idiots Review. I'm Caleb.
I'm Hannah, and we are going to talk about all things Disney shareholders meeting, plus some things...
Plus Spider-Man stuff.
Some Spider-Man stuff. It's been a big day.
It's been a crazy week.
It's been a crazy week for Marvel.
For Marvel stuff. For Marvel news.
Yeah. You wanted to start with Spider-Man?
I mean, that news did come first, so...
So everybody ever is going to be in Spider-Man 3. If you were an extra,
Skywalker is,
or if you were, worked in craft services, you're now going to be in Spider-Man 3. But we did get some...
The guy who said, hey, you stole that guy's pizza, and Spider-Man 2 is going to be in it now.
But we did get some, I mean, I don't want to say, official announcements, just because, some
not
of these...
official. Like, Sony Marvel Studios has come out and confirmed it, but it's,
But it's out there. So, we're getting Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Tobey Maguire's, in talks last I heard. What's her face?
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. That could be what her name was. We're getting Doc Ock, Alfred Molina.
Electro from...
Electro.
That was a while.
That got ago,
but...
Daredevil. Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
So I'm hoping that we're going to get a Wilson Fisk.
So it left people wondering, what room is there going to be for Tom Holland in his own Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, they're like, so all these people are going to be in it, so Tom Holland's not going to be in it.
But now there may be reports that are suggesting that a lot of these people that we just named are going to be more of cameo roles. And
I figured. I didnn't think they were going to be, full-blown,
I want Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man to be,
yes, that would be, I would be okay with that, but the rest of them, I'm like, I don't even, I don't care about her. But, I don't care that... If they had both Spider-Mans, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire had a little bit of a role, I would be okay with that. Some of these characters are dead,
equal
so
parts. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more interesting, which in the shareholders meeting, I don't know if you caught this or not, Kevin Feige did say that WandaVision is not only going to be setting up Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but it's also
Spider-Man.
setting up Spider-Man. So it's whatever she's doing to the multiverse, whatever thing she's going to be screwing up, is maybe how they're going to explain how some of these dead characters now are all of a sudden alive again, because her ripple effect is going out throughout the multiverse.
Yeah.
All of a sudden Wolverine's back alive. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows? Tony Stark. People were waiting. They're like, are we going to get an announcement that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in Spider-Man 3? And it's I don't think so.
It is like a flashback.
Seriously. So there's a lot of Spider-Man news. I'm really excited to see the Marvel Netflix Daredevil back, whether he's playing that specific Daredevil or if he's just playing
a new Daredevil.
New Daredevil. I really liked,
a different, alternate reality.
I really liked that actor playing Daredevil. I thought he did a very good job. I'm kind of hoping that he's actually playing that specific Matt Murdock.
Just because that's the one we know, and
we've kind of grown to be. So I'm kind of hoping that that's the one, and if we happen to see,
and then that means Kingpin is also in this universe.
And I would, I would love to see another season just because they were setting up for
Bullseye.
I was like, what's his name? The card guy. They were setting up for Bullseye and all that. So if this so happens to kind of lead into something like that, I would not be upset.
Have Kingpin be the villain of Spider-Man 3? That would be crazy.
All of a sudden he's just all, hey guys. We're like, what?
Yeah, that's what every character does when they walk into a new movie. They're just like, hey guys.
Hey.
That's all it is what Spider-Man did in Civil War.
True. So that was the big Spider-Man week.
I'm just excited. I just hope Tobey Maguire's in it. I want to see him in his his Sam Raimi suit. And then I hope that if it is only cameos for now, I hope that leads to an actual movie where all three of those Spider-Men and maybe more, add some more in there.
Let's get a little Miles. We can get a little Miles Morales in there.
And have it be a true live action Spider-Verse movie. Obviously, they can make it a lot different, a much different story than the animated movie that we already got, which was super good. But I want to see Tobey Maguire back and in the MCU.
It'll be interesting. I did see a post on Twitter that were Tobey Maguire is going to a costume fitting. Is it for Spider-Man 3? And I was just like, come on.
It might be. Who knows?
How do you know he's going to a costume fitting? It was just a picture of him, holding a coffee. I'm like, he could have just been anywhere.
But then the story walked in and said costume fitting.
Yeah, they didn't see that picture. So I was like, who knows? That could have just been an old picture, too. But anyways. But yeah, so let's start kind of at the beginning of the Shareholders, not the very beginning of the Shareholders meeting, because there was a lot of stuff on there.
Okay, so they're doing really well on Disney Plus subscriptions. Disney they're at 86 million now.
And apparently the international Disney Plus is going to get like the 18 and over section.
I was super excited about that. I was like, oh, sweet, until I found out it wasn't for the US.
I know.
And
I was like, when are we getting that? Because that sounds kind of nice.
Meanwhile, those countries are like, you guys have Disney Plus?
I mean, that's true.
And I'm like, yeah,
that's true. But yeah, so Raya and the Last Dragon is going to be released in theaters and on Disney Plus in the Premier Access. I mean, if they do that a lot, you're going to find less and less people willing to pay for the movies on Disney Plus. Assuming that you have to pay, I would assume that's why they put it on the Premier Access thing.
You're going to have to pay for it. I don't know what that price is going to be, if they're going to lower it or increase it based on what Mulan did. But we are going to have to pay extra to see it.
Yeah. And then there was a lot of Star Wars news.
Yeah.
Lots of Star Wars. Some spin-offs of The Mandalorian. Ahsoka, yes, which, I mean, I think we all kind of speculated, but we weren't 100% sure.
It would have been like, if they were to confirm that they're not making it, I would have been like, what? Like,
yeah, so she's getting a spinoff, and then the other one was...
not that one. Agents of, like, the New Republic or something along
they don't have that one on here.
So it's along those lines. It was something along the lines of, like, Agents of the New Republic, something with New Republic in it.
Yeah. But yeah, so... that should be interesting. And those are going to be set in the Mandalorian, like, universe.
Or the timeline. The timeline of when... Which they said also, which I saw somebody on Twitter mention, because I didn't even hear this, that they said it was going to be leading to an event or something. So they're giving it, like, the Marvel MCU treatment. And that they're having all these spin-offs that are going to lead to something where there's going to be some kind of team-up or some kind of like major crossover event. How like Marvel's done or DC did with the Warner Brothers or
the Crisis
the CW. Hasn't been the WB in a long time. How they did with the CW shows where they each had their own shows, but then had like a major crossover event. So you might see something like that. Not really sure. They just said it was going to be leading to an event. So curious to see what that's all about.
It was Rangers of the New Republic.
Rangers. I said Agents.
Space Rangers. I mean, that is actually. But yeah, so it should be interesting to see what we're going to do with that. They didn't announce a Boba Fett. And a lot of people are like, but aren't they already filming? So how come they didn't announce a Boba Fett, like, spin-off?
They're not ready to announce that just yet.
I mean, who knows?
Or maybe they didn't want to have, like, well... No, never mind. Like, maybe they didn't want to have spoilers, but earlier in the Shareholders, they had that whole, like, Mandalorian video that, like, showed, like, him, like, beating the crap out of those stormtroopers again. Yeah. So I'm like, no, never mind. They're not worried about spoilers.
But we still have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series with...
Hayden Christensen, which I'm super excited about.
He wasn't my favorite, but I still liked. I liked the third one.
I feel like you either love or hate him. I was somebody who actually really liked his character. Well, in the second one, he was kind of annoying, but I feel like he was supposed to be annoying in that one.
Yeah, that was really hard.
And Revenge of the Sith, I thought he actually did a much better job acting wise, and I really liked his portrayal of Anakin in Episode 3. So I'm excited that he's coming back, and I'm curious into what capacity. Like, I hope they're not going to muddy this up too much, just because I feel like Obi-Wan and Darth Vader hadn't seen each other, or at least that's how they made it feel in the movies when in Episode 4 when they met and he said, when I was with you I was but the learner, but now I am the master. It kind of makes you feel like they haven't had interactions since Episode 3.
Like a week?
Yeah, I know. And I'm nervous that they're gonna have like Darth Vader be like the antagonist or something, or they're gonna meet or like have some kind of lightsaber fight or something.
Because she did, Kathleen Kennedy did say something about like we are gonna get to see them have like a rematch or something, and I was like,
yeah, but I mean, there could be, how like Luke had that little like lightsaber fight with Darth Vader in Episode 5 on Dagobah, but it was like a vision kind of thing, so it wasn't real. Like, it could be, there's a lot of different ways where you can have them interact and not actually have them interacting, or they could, it could be a vision, it could be a dream, it could be a flashback. There's a lot of different ways that they could use him.
Could be some fan fiction.
Because I mean, I feel like, they wouldn't need Hayden Christensen if he was just going to be in the Darth Vader suit. So I feel like it's going to have to be used in some capacity to where he's not in the Darth Vader suit, which would make me think that it's either like a dream.
He just does like one thing where he like opens it and he's like, it's me, I'm in here.
Or maybe like, some kind of, I mean.
he's like, Obi, he's like,
it's me, remember? It's me, you burned me.
Obi-Wan, look, it's me, I'm in here.
Although lifting it up, he'd be like, I don't know who you are. Like, you're all like gross looking.
And then he like pulls it down. He's like, whoa, man, your voice is way more intimidating when you have the thing down.
But yeah, so maybe it's going to be more of like a nightmare. Like he's almost like haunting Obi-Wan because he feels bad that he left him. He just left him there alive, which was, even when I watch it today, I'm like, wow, that's a horrible thing to do with a human being, just to watch somebody burning alive and be like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to do a mercy kill. I'm just going to walk away. Like.
So you mean business.
But anyway, that was super exciting news, and I'm happy that he's coming.
Yeah, the next one, animated series, The Bad Batch, which a lot of people on Twitter were pointing out that we did get to see Fennec, which was Ming-Na's character in The Mandalorian. Like, they were like, "Did you see it in that?" And everything was happening so fast. We could have watched that. I actually did watch that.
I did. I watched it live, so
yeah, I did too. So
I was like, I haven't finished the Clone Wars animated series yet, and she's only like 2 episodes in. But there actually is like a. So I know there is. I've watched it actually, but it's been a long time now. Where there actually is an episode called The Bad Batch, I believe, and that this is what it's kind of like spinning off of that episode. So it's going to be in the same animation style and same high quality that we expect from a series like that. Based on what we've seen with the Clone Wars. So. And
every time somebody says Bad Batch, I think of something else. A character who's a bad batch.
Oh. I don't know where you're going with that.
Anyways, yeah, I was just like, oh, that's weird. Star Wars Visions. An animated short film through the lens of the world's best Japanese anime creators. Interesting.
Yeah, not sure what that is, so don't really have a lot to comment on that. There's going to be a lot of little short clips of stuff. So
yeah, there was one more.
There was I forget what it's called. It started with an A.
Yeah, the Andor.
Oh, not that one too. But then there's another one.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Andor, which is like the guy from Rogue One. We're getting like a spy thriller. With that guy, with his character. I'm actually interested to see the spy thriller because that seems kind of interesting and it's like a different take a little bit.
There we go.
Oh yeah, Acolyte, which they didn't really expand on. They were just like, that's coming.
I know that's like a position within like the Sith hierarchy. Where Jedi have like Padawans and Jedi Knights and Jedi Masters and all these different things. I know that is somewhere in the hierarchy of like the Sith Order. And then it said like it was going to be set in the High Republic, which is like thousands of years before the Skywalker saga. So it's going to be a much different era that hasn't been explored yet within the Star Wars universe, at least movies or TV show wise. It's going to be something new that's very different than anything they've done so far. So that'll be an interesting show to watch as well.
Yeah, and then the last one, I think, first of all, we're getting The Mandalorian Season 3 in December of next year. So that's nice. And the last one was a Lando series. Everybody on Twitter assumes it's Donald Glover. I don't know why we make that assumption. They didn't actually say anything. It could very well be Billy D. Williams. It could be Billy D. Williams and, Lando and his daughter from Rise of Skywalker. They kind of were setting up something there a little bit in the end.
And I said it'd be funny since, he found his daughter at the very end, even though they didn't confirm that in the movie, but they confirmed it outside of the movie that that's his daughter. That they do like a How I Met Your Mother kind of show with him, since he would be telling his daughter how he met his mother, and then
He's like, I don't know. He's like, I hooked up with so many women.
All across the galaxy.
I know. It's like, it could be anybody.
But then they could have Donald Glover.
You just mixed up a couple of names.
I did.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, thank you.
Glover. That's a different guy.
And then, so they could have like him like telling her like stories of his youth and stuff, so they could incorporate both. I mean, who knows what they're gonna do?
Who knows? We don't. Yeah. So I don't know. So I was like reading on Twitter. Everybody's like, "Oh, Donald Glover's back," and I was like, when did they see that? I did not hear his name. So we'll see. I mean, there was some Disney. They didn't really do so much. They did talk about Pinocchio, Peter Pan and Wendy,
The Lion King
prequel. There's a few like animated series and movies coming. I I didn't pay too close of attention, to be honest. I just wanted the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, and I was working, so I was half paying attention, and then when, like, the Marvel panel came on, I was like...
Yeah.
Luckily, it was like, I only had, like, a few minutes left in my work day, so, you know, don't get mad, I still was working, and then luckily I was able to step away.
Yeah, so let's just dive into the Marvel stuff. So there was some surprises that were announced that I was not expecting. First of all, there's like a million trailers that I was not expecting.
All on our channel, so go watch them.
So there's 4 trailers. So, you know, the one for WandaVision, super excited. Can't wait for that series. I wasn't expecting footage of the Falcon Winter Soldier. I also wasn't expecting them to announce that it was coming out in March ahead of Black Widow.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, and it kind of makes it look like it's going to, that WandaVision is going to lead right into, you know, like when one season ends of WandaVision, that the next week is going to be picking up with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is going to be very nice.
Which will then lead straight into Black Widow.
Because we just need, you know, in 2021, I just need constant Marvel content.
Yeah, just on like
just like, I just needed an IV, just like...
Yeah, so that was interesting because we kept hearing reports that it had to come after Black Widow because Black Widow would have some spoilers.
It was going to be setting up. It was going to be setting up stuff for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And it's like, oh, that's not true. I guess they just needed more time to finish it.
But so Black Widow is still going straight to theaters. No, for now. But I mean, that was, you know, the announcement that it was still going to theaters. They weren't doing a Disney Plus thing, even though that would have been nice. Because in March, there may not be theaters still open here. So, I mean, May, who knows? March, definitely not. But May, I mean, who knows? So it was nice to see that. They had a Loki clip, which I wasn't expecting. And I have to say that the Loki one kind of surprised me and makes me a little more excited for that series than I was previously.
But watch our reaction video for that. We go into much more detail.
And then What If, which was nice to see that a little bit. So they did confirm some castings for Miss Marvel. The person that was, you know, reported is now been confirmed by Kevin Feige. And also She-Hulk. Because the actress that was reported as playing her, Tatiana Maslany, she was like, I'm not playing her. And everybody's like, what does that mean? And then he was like, no, she's playing her.
And I think it's funny the way he worded it. He's like, I can officially announce. So it's like you already know that's out there. But he's like, now we can officially confirm that...
So she is playing Jennifer Walters. We are getting, the She-Hulk series will be, you know, who knows when that's coming. But we are getting the Abomination from the Incredible Hulk movie. And Mark Ruffalo, but that had already been like... But, we already knew that was coming. But so I was kind of surprised. I was curious to see if we're going to see any more characters from that movie.
Because I don't know the actor's name, or the character's name, other than the leader. But because at the end of the Incredible Hulk, they're setting up for the leader to, you know, eventually be a villain, and then like nothing ever came of that because he never got another standalone movie. So it's like there's another character that they could play around with. I feel like maybe the Abomination is not going to be the main antagonist of the series since they're just like so upfront in announcing it. But I mean, who knows at this point? Yeah,
I mean, are we going to get like, what's her name? Betty Davis.
I
guess Betsy Ross would not.
Or Ross, not Davis.
Yeah. Betty, you went Betty Davis. I went Betsy Ross, which is also not right. We're going to combine those. So it's like, who knows if we're going to get to see more characters from that movie. I mean, the movie wasn't great, but there were some characters in there that I liked, so I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of be incorporated a little bit.
I'd like to see Thunderbolt Ross back in it as well.
Well, I mean, we've seen him a bunch of
times. I know. We've seen him a lot lately in Civil War and Endgame and in Infinity War, but I would still like to see him in this series as well. They
announced it's an animated series, right? The Nick Fury, the Secret Invasion?
No, that's live action.
Is it live action? Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell. They were kind of going in between animated and live action, so I couldn't tell if some of these were live action or if they were going to be animated.
Now, it'd been rumored for a while that Samuel Jackson had signed on to be in a future MCU Disney Plus series, and people thought he was going to be getting his own, you know, series that's just titled like, you know, Nick Fury or Fury or whatever it is going to be.
But he's getting a Secret Invasion.
But he's being in the Secret Invasion.
Talos. How do you say his name?
Which is Marvel. Yeah, which I don't know if this is going to be, well, you know, the Secret Invasion is a very big storyline, so I don't know if this is going to be laying the groundwork for what will eventually either be a storyline they address in a Captain Marvel movie or even an Avengers movie, because it was an Avengers level crossover event in the comics. So I hope they don't just limit that to a series, especially when Captain Marvel is not going to, she's very heavily involved in the, it's late, my mind is blinking. It's not late, but my mind is blinking. Not the Kree, but the...
Skrulls.
Skrulls, there you go. That she's very heavily involved in the Skrulls, and the Secret Invasion obviously has to do with the Skrulls, so I hope that this is kind of laying the groundwork and setting up for what will eventually be a big storyline that pays off in the movies.
We'll see. They did announce that Captain Marvel 2, of course, is coming, but then they announced that, the grown version of Monica Rambeau that's going to be in WandaVision is going to be in Captain Marvel 2, which isn't really a surprise.
Which confirms, well, I mean, it kind of is, because we didn't know if they were going to be going back to address the end of, since she was like, I'm coming after the Kree to end this war.
But with WandaVision, who knows, what version of Monica Rambeau this is? Is it the same one that we know from when
Well, yeah, but we know WandaVision isn't, doesn't take place in the past.
No, I know, but she pulls Monica from...
there's two of them, I know. But we know that Captain Marvel 2 is set in present day and not in the past. That's all I was saying.
I mean, who knows? But anyways. So that is coming. They did announce Black Panther 2 is also coming, and that they are not recasting Chadwick Boseman, why can't I say his name? Which I'm glad about. Yeah, which I'm glad, because there's nobody else that could have played that part. I mean, he was just too perfect in that role, and trying to recast it just wouldn't have worked. I don't know how they're going to work it out with him, being gone, which sucks. Not sucks for Marvel, but just sucks for everyone, because Chadwick Boseman was awesome, and it was very shocking to hear when he died. So it'll be interesting to see what, there's talk that Shuri's going to have more of a role. I mean, she did become Black Panther in the comics, so who knows? But the same writer-director of the first one is writing and directing the second one, so, you have to kind of assume that it's in good hands, and, that
they'll do justice.
Yeah, they're going to do justice. They're not just going to be like, oh, he died just randomly, and we're not going to, I feel like if they kill him off, it has to be,
heroic.
Yeah, it has to be some, big epic, thing. Or that, they can't just be like, he's out. So I don't know, but it is coming. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with that story. Blade is also still coming. They did talk briefly about that. What else before we get to this one? What else came?
They confirmed that Christian Bale is going to play Gore, the God Butcher.
Yes, for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Which, I mean, I knew he was in it, and we knew he was probably going to be playing the villain. A lot of people are speculating on which villain he was going to be playing.
Yeah.
So they confirmed that, and then they also confirmed, I forget the actor's name, but they confirmed that
Kang the
Conqueror is going to be coming to the MCU, and they confirmed the
3.
actor, and confirmed the actor who's playing
Ant-Man 3, the Quantumania.
Man, I gotta say, Phase 4, or I don't even know what phase that is, but these upcoming movies, their titles are terrible. Thor: Love and Thunder is not great.
It's terrible.
Quantumania, that's...
It sounds like it's a wrestling, Quantumania. I feel like Hulk Hogan's gonna come out.
It's and I get what they were doing. They even make jokes all the time about how you just throw the word quantum in front of everything, and so they're but Quantumania. I don't know.
Yeah, but they did also talk about Fantastic Four, and it's being directed by John Watts, who did the Spider-Man movie. So that's coming. I was hoping we were going to get an announcement that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt were playing Reed Richards and Sue Storm. We didn't. I was like, oh, come on. Nope, nothing.
Because, what's his name? Peyton Reed?
Yeah.
The guy from the director of Ant-Man and the Wasp wanted to direct the Fantastic Four, and so then they're like, we're not going to give it to you, even though you're directing other movies. We're going to give it to this other director who also is directing other movies of us.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Which I feel like I want the Fantastic Four, and I don't know. I don't even know what I want from the Fantastic Four. I just want it to be better than what we've gotten so far.
It's been rough, especially the last one.
But yeah. But so, anyways, they announced who that was, but we don't have much detail on that.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting. Casting is just still going to run rampant until they actually nail somebody down. That sounded weird.
Until they confirm somebody.
But so there's a few surprises in there that I wasn't expecting them to announce, but I think the biggest one for me was Ironheart. I was not expecting an Iron, and not only that, but they have
an actress already.
Yeah, Ironheart cast. So that's like, okay, and that's gonna be a series. It's gonna be a Disney Plus series. So okay, I'm okay with that. I'm interested to see how that's going to work and what they're going to do with that.
And it's going to be, comic accurate in the sense that it's following, I forget her name. It's something Williams. Riri, there you go. It's following Riri Williams and not like, Tony Stark's daughter, like a lot of people.
A lot of people were like, oh,
she should be like Ironheart. And it's like, no, they're sticking true to the comics, the relatively new comics within the last 4 or 5 years has that character come into play in the comics. So relatively new, but they're moving forward with the show for it. So it'll be interesting to see how they progress this Iron Man-ish. With War Machine being in his series and Ironheart being in hers, that they're having like a
War Machine series.
No, I don't think we did. So that was also another big surprise. It's called the Armor Wars or something
like that.
Where it's going to be following the comic storyline where Tony Stark's armor falls into the wrong hands, and then it's going to be starring Don Cheadle as War Machine.
Yeah, I actually thought that was going to be an animated series because, like I said, they kept going in and out, and so I thought we were talking all about animated series, and then he mentioned that one, and I was like, oh, that's animated. And then the Nick Fury series, and I was like, oh, that's animated.
But yeah, so it was a huge night for Marvel fans. They gave us a lot when they've been kind of stingy for most of 2020.
Yeah.
And fans were like, you're not giving us anything. And all of a sudden they were just like, here you go.
Here's
a year's worth of stuff.
Here's 4 trailers. Some like first looks that we didn't react to, which was like people just talking about the
like
series, like Miss Marvel and things like that. So yeah, there was a lot in that shareholders meeting, a lot more than I thought there was going to be. I was hoping for like one WandaVision trailer, and I was like, man, I hope we get that one trailer, and then it was just like tush, tush, tush.
So it was a fun night.
So yeah, so it'll be interesting just to kind of see all of this unfold. If we're going to be, who knows, they could be announcing different, they did talk briefly about the Hawkeye series. They did finally confirm that Haley Steinfeld is,
even though we've seen
set pictures
for like,
but yeah, she is playing Kate Bishop. I was like, oh shoot, what's her name? So I was like, we've already seen set pictures, so that's, like whatever. There was something else too. Nope, I lost it. I don't know. There's a lot. I'm sure I'll remember, and we're not going to do another video because this one's already pretty long. So
yeah, I'm not going to 30-second video. Wait, and one more.
I'm like, oh yeah, this one other thing that happened.
And we've been rambling for a long time. If anyone's still watching at this point, like, please let us know.
if you made it to the end, I mean, I can't give you anything.
We will give you $5. No, we
but won't. Here's an Air 5. But yeah, so let us know your guys' thoughts on the entire shareholders meeting. If we missed something, if there's, some other reveals. Yeah, just let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.